All right, so it's oddly enough, Michael, you like women. You rather talk to a woman than a man.
We're starting the show right off like that.
Oh,
I can't believe
I
that.
need this light off over
Yeah.
here.
Why? Light off.
Light off. Right.
Michael, why the hell would you want to talk to a woman rather than a man?
Men intimidate me.
Men intimidate you.
Yeah, I don't have anything in common with men. I have more in common with women.
Like what? Lilacs?
Like, see, when I end up talking to women in the other room, it's usually a lot about like makeup,
Menstrual cycles.
and
Makeup,
a lot
yeah.
of
I do too, though.
They talk about. That's right. You wear makeup.
I don't wear makeup
You used
anymore.
to.
I used to. All right.
All right. So
I mean, when I was,
you got those tips then.
I remember
Yes.
that night at Nietzsche's. We had so much makeup on. It was remember that?
I didn't
Ken?
have- oh,
in
Jesus
June of what?
I hardly had anything
Remember
on
that?
at all.
Remember when we were thinking, who is this person? Who is this freak? Remember that? We said that to each other? What was your direct
Oh, that
quote,
was
Ken?
nice.
Who is this freak?
That-
Is that what you
that
said?
I don't remember.
Oh, I
But
don't-
come on, you remember
You were there.
distinctly.
a freak.
Well, you were wearing so much makeup. It was
I
like you
was.
you were-
hardly had anything on at all. I just didn't want to come and freak Amy out by coming with nothing on.
Did you thank Richard for curing you of Asperger's?
Oh, I mentioned names.
Doesn't matter. Did you thank Richard here for curing you of Asperger's? Dr. Wicka? MD?
I did.
Richard, how did you do that? Did you get inside his mind, or?
I showed him a psychological study that was printed saying that more and more therapists are over-diagnosing Asperger's for patients. You know, it's
trendy.
Exactly.
well, not only trendy,
wow,
it's
that's
very
no good.
It's very convenient. It's
Convenient and
very
trendy is not what you want from a doctor.
It's the same thing with
Asperger's.
a lot of pain diagnoses where they tell people they have fibromyalgia. It's very
Yeah.
convenient.
They told me I had fibromyalgia.
They
So you realized after Richard set you straight that it's just a bunch of trendy doctors. Did a doctor tell you had Asperger's?
Yes.
And then you found out that from Richard it was just a trendy, convenient diagnosis, and now you've switched gears?
Yes.
Or are you really just doing that so Richard will get off your back? Because
No.
every time you said, I have Asperger's, Richard would say, are you sure? Are you sure? Maybe it was a trendy diagnosis. And then you just get sick of that, Michael?
the
Tell the truth
article-
right now. You got sick of it. You still think you have Asperger's, but you just got sick of Richard bringing it up every single time.
Shut up.
See, he doesn't. He still thinks he has Asperger's. He just doesn't say it to you anymore because you were harping on it. Whenever he brought up, you say, "Can't you look at the possibility you don't?" And he always say, "No, I do." Remember? He'd say, "I haven't," and you'd say, "You sure you can't look at the possibility, Michael?" He got sick of you saying, "Look at the possibility. It might be a trendy diagnosis." Right?
I was placating Richard.
You placated him. He placated you. How do you feel about being placated? Do you enjoy being placated?
it doesn't have any effect on me.
Yeah.
Oh,
You're not really placating him because
oh,
placating would mean you're calming him down and telling him what he wants to hear.
Right.
He didn't want to hear that, and he doesn't. And you think Richard needs to be calmed down? Let's look at this guy. Calm down. He's the Zen master. Let's calm down. Was he? He never said like this. What? You don't have Asperger's. That would be me you're thinking of. He just would say, you might not have Asperger's. That's how he would say it. And you need to calm that guy down?
No.
Jesus, you are intimidated by men. Jesus, are you intimidated by me?
You're a man.
So all men? You're intimidated by every man?
I'm not intimidated by Kenny.
Oh. The only man you're not intimidated by is this guy? Why not? Is he so nice? Is he so warm and sweet? We know that's not true. Can't be that. What's the reason?
Kenny is calm. He's calm. He doesn't like sports. So we have that in common.
So that would
okay?
mean, oh yeah, you just so because Richard and I like sports, we intimidate you?
Yeah.
Because we like guys running around a field throwing a ball?
Yeah.
That intimidates you?
Yeah.
Why can't you be a real man? Michael, really?
I went to my doctor to ask him, and he said,
you have Asperger's."
and now we had to throw that out the window.
Does having
so.
Asperger's mean you're not a real man?
No, that has nothing to do with being
You can be a real man and have Asperger's?
Yeah.
Are there any Asperger's guys who like sports? Who like watching sports?
No.
yes.
Well, there you go. There's none.
There are.
There are. You know some people that are Asperger's who likes watching sports?
Yes.
Wow, that's hard to believe.
it's hard to believe.
Name their names.
Well, I
Not
can,
on the
I
air.
can
We don't
tell
want people
you
to-
his
'cause
first name is Louis.
And he likes sports.
He likes sports.
Holy Christ.
Louis
almighty God.
Farrakhan?
Yeah, Louis Farrakhan.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
So I realized Richard. I was thinking Richard about last week about how I said you like the NFL. You dive into it avidly and it's mainstream. And then I realized you're into another thing that's mainstream, Facebook. But when I talked to Paula about it, she made a good point. You don't use Facebook in the mainstream manner, do you? You have your own manner.
were just
That's
talking
why.
about that.
That's why it's not really. You're not diving into the mainstream pool with Facebook like I thought you were. Is that how you see it?
I haven't really thought about it, but Paula pointed that out to me when Michael said, "Oh, you didn't read those poems that Paula's been posting?"
Right. You don't go the mainstream way and read the poems of your friends.
And then it pointed out the fact that like I don't check the feed as often as other people do.
Right. You're more into arguing with people, right? Discussion. I'm sorry.
I'm more into looking for things that interest me and commenting on them.
But don't you think that maybe if you're avidly diving into Facebook and you avidly dive into the NFL, that's two giant, mega, mainstream things that you're involved in. Facebook and the NFL.
Well, there's an expression.
Yeah, fuck you. I know. I've heard that expression.
It's called create the new in the shell of the old.
What? Who said that?
The Wobblies.
Oh, the Wobblies. I love their music.
The IWW.
Yeah, the IWW. They're great.
International Workers of the World.
They said that?
Yeah.
Create the substance of your reality,
They said, how are you, trying to bring about a revolution through your union? They said, we're creating the new in the shell of the old.
So you're trying to start a revolution on Facebook? To be the way you are?
I haven't thought
Tea
of it
party.
that dramatically, but I want to participate in a revolution,
Of what kind?
bringing about a more rational world.
Oh, my God. So you believe that it'd be better to have a more logical, rational world?
Oh, absolutely.
Oh. Would that be devoid of human emotions?
I don't.
Would you like it if the
I don't
world was
see-
devoid of human emotions?
I don't see rationality and emotions as opposing each other.
Really? So you can be very emotional like Michael and still be rational. Is that true, Michael? Are you rational also or just very emotional?
I'm not emotional.
You're not very emotional?
I'm not emotional.
You're not very emotional?
No, I want to know what happened when Kenny went over
Well,
to
you can use
Publix.
your
That's what
reason.
I want to jump right into that.
You can
Yeah,
That's
let's
what
talk
get me
about that.
emotional. Yeah, let's talk about that. What happened, Kenny?
Kenny, tell us about that last weekend on Saturday.
Oh, we should tell the viewers what we're talking about.
All right, Kenny's
Oh, they'll know.
the kind of guy who likes to mix it up and get in there and change things for the better. So he
Yeah.
thought he'd go visit Michael's ex-girlfriend Amy.
How do you know about this?
Because it was on the Facebook.
Remember
It
our
was on
discussion?
Facebook.
The
We had
Facebook.
our discussion.
So, anyways, Ken, you decided that you'd mix it up with our old friend who we lost on the show
Yeah.
because of Michael,
Yeah.
Amy, and you went
Yeah,
to
it's my
visit
fault.
her at the Adam Couch Library. Anything else we need to set up there?
We should tell the viewers that when Amy and Michael broke up, Amy not only stopped coming to the show,
Yeah.
but we all got defriended on Facebook.
Right.
So this man, Kenny, he went like Lewis and Clark,
Yeah, like Lewis and Clark.
and he met with
He's
Amy,
like two people.
fearing he might be rejected.
Yeah. Did you fear
But
that?
with his people skills.
Wait a minute. Number one, I don't know if he was fearful. Number two, he doesn't have people skills, right, Ken?
I think he showed it.
You think you have people skills? Exactly. You can't even say yes or no to people whether he has people skills. Were you fearful that she'd reject you? No, he was not. Richard, you're making these things up. He doesn't have people skills. And he wasn't fearful of me.
It's through the eyes of Richard.
Yeah, I say, what else should we set it up with? Well, he's fearful of rejection, and he has great people skills. No, he doesn't have good people skills, and he wasn't fearful of rejection. The reason he went there without fear of rejection is because he has no people skills. He's just like barging in like a hen in a doghouse, right? All right.
No, he uses people skills
He
because
doesn't-
he didn't go in and say, "Hello, Amy." He
Oh.
sat back.
Hate to tell you, Richard,
waited
but
for
saying hello,
her.
Amy, is people skills. I don't know where what country you're from, but if you'd have a friend and you haven't seen him for a while, you go up and say hello, Amy.
Kinda
That's
gotta
people
See,
skills.
he knows when to hold, when to fold.
What a bunch of bullshit. When I saw her after she defriended me, I did this crazy people skill thing, and I went up to her and I said, "Hi, Amy." Caught her off guard completely. She was stunned. I had the nerve to go up. Thank God you held back and laid back. So after you laid back for a while, did she notice you?
Yeah.
And then what'd she say to you? Did she give you a hug?
Yeah. She said, "Hey,
Wow.
Kenny, how you doing?" You know.
Wow. She remembered your name and everything, huh?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
And then what happened?
I found out they didn't have the play this year. I forgot why, but the play.
What's the play?
The play they had last year, but
Oh, at the Adam Couch Library.
yeah.
I was
For
in
Halloween?
I was in it last
For
year.
Halloween?
It's
Well-
it's a play written by Anna Miscavige, and it's at that time of the year.
Okay.
So
So they didn't know that's the okay, we don't care about that. There was no play. Anything else?
There was food upstairs. I went upstairs to go get something to eat, and just before I went to dig in, her
Yeah.
mother was up there, and she screamed my name.
Nancy?
Yeah.
She knew your name too?
Yeah.
Well, you're
said
kinda
the whole name. not
Vaughn?
just Kenny Vaughn.
Holy. Well, you are kind of memorable with your Playboy outfit. Yeah. You know?
Yeah.
The way you look.
I guess.
Yeah.
But
you
I
stand
didn't
on like a
have.
sore
But I
thumb.
didn't have Playboy on last week. I just had a white and black
Holy
jacket.
fuck!
on.
You had a white jacket. That's right. You didn't have. That's correct. And she still
He
did.
had on his Peter Lawford outfit.
He had the Peter Lawford outfit on. So anything happened, or just you ate food and you talked to them?
Yeah. I just talked about the show and not Amy.
Nancy.
Yeah, her mother insisted on taking a picture, and that was about it.
That sounds really boring and useless. Why did we talk about this, Michael?
Well, here's the reason why Nancy insisted on a picture, because like the year before when Amy wanted her to put a picture on Facebook.
Didn't she do one last year? Too?
Knowing that I look at Nancy's page.
So I thought this was going to be juicy somehow. But
It is juicy.
What's the
I'll
juicy
give you the
part?
juice.
Michael
So-
is saying that picture is a coded message to him.
Yeah.
Oh my
Why?
God! You're reading in the photos of coded messages
it
now.
coded?
I'm doing
You must
that
have
because
Asperger's.
no. I've been told in the past that's why they do that.
For coded messages.
Yeah.
To you.
Yeah. Amy told her mother to take a picture of when they ran into Nesbitt and had coffee with him, and
Bob.
she said, "Put this on your Facebook page because I know he's going to see it."
I don't believe you should talk about Nesbitt because he hates our guts.
Well, that's fine.
So therefore, I don't think we should entice him to hate our guts even further.
So what happened that you don't apparently know about is that you're talking about the show, and you did talk about the show. You talked about the Richard action figure with them.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
You talked about the show.
Right.
Nancy got curious,
Yeah.
and she went and watched last week's episode.
All right.
And she says,
It was
and
a-
at 10 minutes
it was a
and
great
1
episode.
second, you crossed the line, Michael.
Yeah, you did, and I told you not to, didn't I?
Yeah, it was a little late.
Well, you said it, and I said, "What the fuck are you doing? What am I supposed to do? Be a mind
And
reader?
I
Know
said,
you're
are we going to
say-
take this out of the show later? And you said, no, we're not going to cut it.
We don't do that,
Well,
right, Richard?
well, you
If
didn't
he's-
mention any
If he
name
wants to,
last year.
if
No,
he
I
wants
didn't
to go,
mention any names.
no. But if he wants to go crazy
So
and say
what?
horrible things on video when he knows we're on video, we don't cut him out later. He knew it. You were cognizant of
What
that.
did you say? I don't remember.
I think it was like a coded message you were doing. Not even coded. It was just a message.
Oh, it was just fun. It was
That
just
was
fun.
horrible what you say, and
Oh,
I
for the love
said-
of God.
It was horrible. I mean, how could that not be horrible? And I said, that's horrible. Don't do that. And then you're saying it's too late that I said it? How would I know you're going to say something horrible until you say it? Right? I don't know you're always going to say
I
something
don't think
horrible.
Michael's. I don't think Michael wants you to take responsibility for what he said.
You should be apologizing right now for saying that horrible thing last week.
All right, this is why I was leading into this.
Why don't you
because
apologize
I got
right now
I
for
got
that?
a letter.
A letter?
A letter.
And a real letter?
No, a Facebook letter
Oh.
from Nancy, and she said,
You've crossed
she
the
said,
line.
I let you see. I didn't block you from seeing my Facebook page because I knew you were keeping tabs
you
on Amy
fuck.
and stuff. She said, but now you have lost that privilege.
Damn right. You are really bad. And how dare you be bad?
So I wrote her back a letter, and I said, look,
A letter.
I said, number one, I said it's a comedy show. It's a comedy.
It wasn't
show.
funny at all.
People say outrageous things to make other people laugh. I said, have you seen what
It
the
used to
host
be a-
says?
it used to be a
He
comedy
calls me
show.
a dumb fuck most of the time. I don't
I
take it
never
seriously.
said that. I said stupid fuck.
Oh, all right.
You know I don't think you're a stupid fuck.
But the whole fact
Do
of
I
the
think
matter
you're
is this is a comedy
Oh, so you're
show,
saying
okay?
because I don't think you're a stupid fuck, right? Then therefore you didn't mean what you said. Is that what you're saying?
I'm saying
Just-
it
it
was
just-
a
the
joke.
op-
It's like watching Saturday Night Live and you say,
Right.
holy crap. They just said some serious stuff, and I really don't know. And I told her, I said,
Yeah.
if you're the type of person
Just like
who, wants
Saturday
to,
Night Live.
who wants to read the political cartoons in the newspaper, and when
Yeah.
they poke your personal bear, you write a letter to the paper? No.
I know.
Come on.
So you're saying
That's why they're political cartoons.
But you don't think I think you're a stupid fuck, do you?
No, I don't think you're a I
Don't I always tell you how
said
great
people
you are?
don't take stuff like that
I'm always telling you how
seriously.
great you are.
So,
Who's been backing you more than me since you met me?
no, it's not.
Any, who's
Nobody.
been back?
Nobody.
No one. I've backed this guy Richard more than any person in his life. Backed him to the hilt.
In my life?
Yeah, who? Well, your dead family? They haven't backed him more than I have.
All right.
Name somebody. I'm the number one backer of Michael.
All right. Well, anyway,
You don't think so?
So my point was that, okay, so I'm blocked from seeing Amy anymore at all through anybody's page.
Doesn't
It's
matter.
over. It's over. It's over.
It always was over.
Well,
It's man, you don't hang on to the past. Remember what they say, Sorry, if you.
but I wish her the
chapter.
best. I wish her the best. I still love her. I'll always love her. But we're
This is a set. Can we
No.
start the show over again?
Well, we
Yeah, start
should
the show
ask
over
Michael
again.
what would be your ideal situation.
My ideal situation.
Yeah, I mean, would you like it if she said, "Okay, Michael, let's be friends and exchange Christmas cards," and
Yeah.
like, what would be the ideal situation?
What's the ideal
Well,
situation?
that would be a nice situation if we could be friends.
Is it ideal though?
Ideal?
Yes. He asked ideal. You know what
No,
ideal
I
means?
don't think it'd be nice to have peace between us to be able to
But you might not
communicate
want
and
to say
talk.
horrible things on video. You know what I'm saying?
I was going to come on the show and say, you know what, Greg, I'm not going to try to say anything funny anymore because when I say funny things, people defriend me. They don't like it.
Really? This happened before?
Sure, with Tim Saraki. Remember Tim Saraki?
Well, you didn't say that on the air.
No, I didn't say it on the air. I said
Well, then what are you talking
You
about
made me
then?
apologize on the air, though.
Because you were so horrible.
I know. I'm the
Because you
worst
have
person in the
Asperger's.
world. I'm the worst person in the world. You're absolutely
No,
right
no, I
about
like
that.
you.
That's right.
I think you're good. You're not the worst person in the world.
You're raising a valid point.
You're very good.
You're raising a very valid point.
That I'm a
That
horrible
he tried to be
person?
funny and then
But when
people
you
got mad.
say you shouldn't say X, you shouldn't say Y, he's saying, well, be careful because I'll just not want to say anything.
I don't think it's valid because he said something super horrible last week. Saying something super horrible is not the same thing as saying something interesting and funny.
Okay.
You know,
I have
and then-
I have noticed though.
Right.
Michael says things to be shocking sometimes, and he doesn't. And he thinks they're funny, and
Sometimes they are though. Like the
They're-
prostitute thing was funny.
yeah, a couple
Yeah.
times they're funny, but a couple
was
times
hilarious.
they're not. So sometimes they're.
Well, no. What I'm saying is you can say things to be shocking as long as you don't say them about people you know. And then when you tell about people you know, they're not going to like it.
Yeah.
You say shocking things like he said, "Oh, I go to prostitutes. I have prostitutes come to my house." All that's out of blue. He's not mentioning anyone's name.
true.
It was funny, but it might be shocking to somebody, but it wasn't. It's only when you get personal and say this person, that person. You say things to them about themselves. He said something to the two of them about themselves. Say the prostitute thing was hilarious. You've done a lot of funny things and nothing to do with those two things. Other than that, you've been great.
I do have Asperger's.
You don't have Asperger's. You don't have it.
But he takes responsibility for what he said.
Yeah, I'm just saying. I know that's what I mean. So I'm just saying, if you want to, you can say horrible things that are personal about human beings in the future on video or on Facebook. Of course, you can do that. But of course, every time you say something horrible about a person you know on Facebook or video, the very likelihood is they're not going to like it.
There'll be consequences.
I believe that. Yeah, I don't believe that people usually, if they find out about it, say, "Oh, it's Facebook or it's a video show, so therefore I won't be offended or upset." I think they get offended, upset. They might even get more offended, upset, saying, "Well, it wasn't. He couldn't even tell me in person. It's on Facebook or it's on video on YouTube, which is even worse." You know, you're saying something bad on video on YouTube. People don't want to hear that. Who wants to hear something bad about themselves on video or YouTube? No one really. I mean, hardly anybody.
Where do you categorize the show when you publish it on YouTube? What do you categorize it as?
Variety show. It's a variety show.
Oh, yeah. I think I
Variety
when I
show.
started it out, I started out as variety.
It's
Yeah.
But
variety.
it's comedy now.
Is it comedy? Maybe I
Well,
started.
it
out
is
as comedy.
hilarious until this episode. This is the only episode that's not. We should just start over and just do a whole funny episode. You know
All right,
what I'm
erase
saying?
this whole thing.
Erase
Just
this whole
this
damn
whole
show. It's too good. We don't want to have a good show with real subject matter. You know? No, it's good. We're airing it all out here.
No, my point was that what I said just it was not meant to be taken seriously, and I don't know why people watch a comedy show and they say, "Oh my God, how could he say something like that?" You know, it's horrible, it's horrible, it's horrible.
Well,
you
just
crossed the line. It's
Well,
like it's not
right.
it's not John McLaughlin. It's Saturday Night Live with Greg Sterlace.
But the thing is, for instance, like, you know, when OJ murdered the two people and they made jokes about it on Saturday Night Live, everyone wasn't saying, "Oh,
It was too soon.
No, everyone wasn't saying it's so bad. But if OJ saw that, there's a good chance he'd say, "This is unfair to me. It's not funny," like Jim Prey would say. If OJ himself saw it, if the person being had the horrible things said about them on the air, maybe the rest of the world doesn't think shit about it, or they think it's funny. But the person might not like it at all. That actual person, whether they're famous or not, like, "Oh my God, they're saying this horrible
Right,
thing about me on
because-
TV."
yeah,
So
that's-
what you need to do is, you only did it twice since I met you. So you did it twice, big deal. You said one thing on video, you said one thing on a message to Tim, big deal. And then you apologize for both of them, and that's it. I mean, there's no big. That doesn't hold him up from saying whatever he wants the rest of the time.
No, I think
and he can still
Richard-
say
I
what something.
think-
You can
no,
still say something personal, but just know, like Richard said, you're gonna have. If you say a third personal thing on video about any person we know, and it's really negative, then there might be a consequence that they didn't like it.
Michael,
What would Lenny Bruce say in a
Michael,
case like
This is not Lenny Bruce like.
but-
Lenny Bruce did not go up on stage
But Michael-
and say, oh, my ex-girlfriend this, and he didn't say, my friend this.
Greg,
And
can I say something,
Yeah.
please? Thank you.
Go ahead.
Michael, it's not like Greg said. 99 out of 100 people will find it funny, but
Yeah.
that 100th person who it's about will not find it funny.
Right.
Yeah.
So that's the only thing.
it was hilarious.
Do I tailor my comments that I make
It's
for
like,
the one person or
you-
for the 99?
for the-
Beautifully stated.
you know,
You do it for the one person because he can make a lot of comments
right,
that are
because
not
that
about
one
people we know.
That one person is the one you care about,
Right.
not the 99.
Right. You can. What it is? You've made a lot of funny comments.
You can make funny comments all day long, but
And he
if
has.
you make it about somebody that you care about, like if Greg said something nasty about me maybe everybody would laugh, but I wouldn't.
I never do though.
I know, but I'm
I'm
just
loving,
I'm
caring,
I'm giving it
a
an
loving,
example.
caring gentleman, right?
I'm giving an example.
Yeah, I know it's an example, but I never did that.
No, you never have.
No, but I'm
Show
saying,
over.
I'm saying, forget about what I'm saying is, yeah, if you want to go for 99 people think it's funny and one person doesn't, but really he just did this twice since we met him, and he can say lots of horrible things about people that are famous, right? That are funny. He can say lots of horrible things about people he doesn't know that are not famous that are funny, and he can say lots of horrible things that are just comments that are not about individuals or about corporations, art, whatever, or funny voices. You can do tons of funny stuff, jokes. And there's nothing, but I'm just saying, if you just say something horrible about an individual you know, they're not
Then
going to.
there'll be consequences.
There'll be
You have
consequences.
to be willing to accept them.
But he can still do all the other stuff, and he can do tons of Lenny Bruce type stuff. He can do tons of things where he swears, where he talks about the semantics of the language stuff, all this kind of stuff that Lenny Bruce did. Lenny Bruce didn't sit up there going, "Well, I'm going to talk about a person I know, and here I'm going to insult them." No, he usually talked about people he didn't know. He'd mock out Kennedy or someone he didn't know. And you can do all of that just like they would on Saturday Night Live. You can sit here all day long and have hilarious comments about people that are famous or people you don't know. But just, it only happened twice,
but
Michael.
it's
Don't blow it
possible
out.
he accepts the consequences.
So you want to do it a third time, Michael? Is that what you're
And
saying?
as long as he accepts the
yeah,
consequences.
as long as they go for it 3 or 4 times, yeah.
Because I don't think you started off your soliloquy today by saying,
What's the
here's what I said and I wish I hadn't said it. You're saying, here's what I said it, and I accept the consequences.
Is that true?
I don't think there should be a matter of consequences in a situation that we were in.
Oh, there's got to be. Why do you think I jumped on you
I mean, it
immediately?
wasn't. Well, let's see now.
Did I jump on you
I think if
immediately? or-
somebody was going to be with somebody, they'd have to be totally insane. Oh, Greg.
I said about Richard, if you want to have a girlfriend, it
that's
was
right.
not mainstream.
Greg, can I just bring something up here?
Yeah.
I was actually dating somebody I was engaged to somebody who was actually mentally ill.
And I said, don't say that.
We didn't say it like that. It was like, hey, I dated her. I was engaged to her. Ha 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 ha. Audience laughs.
It wasn't funny.
Audience
How do you
laughs.
know the audience
Everybody, and then
laughed?
we move on to the next shtick.
I didn't think it was funny. I thought it was, and I was right that it wasn't funny and it was horrifying. Therefore,
Oh my God,
I immediately didn't I jump in immediately and say, "Don't say that."
I have
What
a
the fuck?
totally wrong idea about what comedy is. I finally realize that now.
No,
I
there's because that's just one aspect of comedy. If you do something personal, like when Howard Stern, remember I was mentioning Howard Stern earlier?
Yes.
Howard Stern did a lot of personal stuff on the air about his wife, his family, etc. And guess what? When he really got in the nitty-gritty about his wife, saying stuff about the relationship, like you were talking about Paula, if I talked about you, and he sometimes would say horrible things.
She left him.
She left him, yeah. Because
And look at things-
eventually she didn't want that to happen, and it was just one after another. You don't have a wrong idea about comedy. You're right about comedy, you're just the one aspect of comedy. Comedy is very diverse, like everything else. And the one aspect is you do what Howard Stern did, what you did last week, which was what Howard Stern did to his wife. She left him. You bring that stuff up eventually. That's it. And when you. Like when David Letterman was fucking the intern, and then he went on the air and he said, "Well, I want to announce that I'm fucking the intern," and everyone's like laughing. He's like, "Oh no, I'm not joking. I'm fucking the intern," and I got to deal with my wife at home about this 'cause I'm just admitting on TV that I'm fucking the intern. And of course she said, "I'm leaving you," and then he had to grovel for months on end before she would stick with him, and it was bad. It was horrible because she was so pathetic that just for the fact of being married to David Letterman and loving him, she would stay with him despite the fact he admitted to multiple interns having sex with them and cheating behind her back. And she's such a wimp that despite the fact she would have got a big multi-million-dollar settlement, she stayed with them.
She wasn't married yet, though, was she? They
Yeah,
weren't married
she was
yet.
married. Yes,
no,
she
they
wa-
weren't married when he was doing it.
Yes, he was.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. First, when they were living together, he was doing it. Then they got married. Then he kept doing it.
Ah.
Then he admitted on the air when they were married. And they were living in, they had a house and they were married. They weren't even living in an apartment as just living in sin. They were, so, just got to watch that one thing, Michael. You're fine.
What if he doesn't want to watch it?
If you don't want to watch it, you will accept the consequences the third, fourth, and fifth times you do it, right?
Well, now if
Got any other things you want to say about people you know that are horrifying?
No.
Say it right now,
No.
or forever rest your peace. Do you think you want to go back to that vein, or you want to or you've learned your lesson and you just want to?
I'm afraid to say anything now, Richard.
But
I'm afraid
it's
to
not.
say anything.
Why?
I'm afraid
Because
to
it's
say
just
anything.
about people you know. Don't say anything horrible. That's just the one rule. Everything else you can say whatever you want about any subject, right? Richard, he can say anything he wants about any subject,
No,
correct?
I think he can say whatever he wants to say. I'm from a different school of thought.
Yeah, he can, but I'm saying if he
But I
if he
think
doesn't
he's-
want to get in trouble with people, just skip that
Right.
one.
Well, that's what
I
I'm saying. It wasn't that I was looking to get into trouble with anybody.
No, you weren't. But the
No,
thing is now.
but I knew you were going to be.
But Michael, now you don't like what the consequences are at this point, and you wish there weren't consequences. So I think
Right.
what Richard's saying is that you don't mind the consequences, but I think you do. I think you're going to miss that access.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah, you
we
don't
should
like the
ask you
consequences.
point blank. What do you think of the consequences of
Do you
being
like the
shut out?
consequences?
Frankly, I said to her, I said, if you're going to do this, I said thank you.
Thank
it
you. What do you
because-
mean? Blocking you is thank you?
He sees it as a blessing.
So
Because
he-
closure.
I was not allowing myself to close the chapter of the book.
Right, if you keep reading that same chapter,
Yeah.
you can't move on to the next chapter.
That's
Thank-
why I put that post.
So you're finally moving on to the next chapter now?
Well, I'm just
Accidentally?
done. I've got to learn to stop rereading that part of my life.
Yeah. Right.
That part is over. It's not. It was 20 breakups, and there isn't going to be 21.
Yeah.
So.
So I agree, Richard. You can say whatever you want. It's just that he's if you're, I mean, definitely if you're willing to deal with how people react to you, you can say anything you want 100% of the time, as long as you're willing to have someone punch you in the face or defriend you or say you're an asshole. Right, Ken?
Oh, we're back to me? Gee, thanks. I thought the show was over.
Oh, I'm sorry. We talked about an important issue in Michael's life. Is that bothering you?
This all came about as a result of your story.
Because of your story.
Oh, well,
So you're bothered by us talking about
me. I thought you were done talking to me. So
No,
I was just
no.
sitting here
No,
We got
we're back
questions
with you,
for
Ken.
you.
How do you feel about Michael's situation?
When that picture was taken, did you know a coded message was about to be sent?
Do you believe there's a coded message, or do you think it's all hooey?
Shit if I know.
Shit, if you know.
I have no idea.
You're so good
What
with the
happened to the
language.
ring? Where's
What?
the ring?
Where's the ring? The magic ring.
The ring.
The engagement ring?
The
Yeah,
ring.
what happened to the ring?
She kept it.
What?
Why?
Well, I don't know.
Oh.
We shouldn't get into this.
See,
No,
he's
I forgot.
shut
Should not get into. See, you've learned.
I
You've
didn't know there
learned
was-
not to get into this. That's the whole point. We've learned. So Richard cured you of Asperger's by harping on it over and over and over. So you won't say ever again I have Asperger's, and now you won't get into stuff. You say let's not get into this because you know already that it leads to consequences.
Well, this was a more private episode of the break.
Yeah, I know. So
Of the breakup.
I know. So forget about ever getting into anything ever again, and forget about ever saying you have Asperger's ever again, because Richard will say, "Are you sure? Come on. I don't think so." So you lied about that.
What? I didn't lie about it.
You said that to Richard. I don't have Asperger's. He taught me I was wrong. Then you said tonight, "Oh, I was just trying to placate him because I was sick of hearing him say."
See, I said something else to be funny, and everybody took it seriously.
See?
Really?
No.
So you didn't. So you don't believe you have Asperger's anymore. That's what you're honestly saying. You no longer have Asperger's just because Richard told you
I'm
didn't.
saying that the article that Richard shared with me has a lot of merit to it. And
Wow.
I read it, and
A lot of merit, Richard.
I think
He's
there's
keeping
good,
an open mind.
Yeah.
Are you keeping an open mind now?
I'm not saying that there's nothing wrong with me.
There
I'm
is
not
nothing
saying
wrong with
that
you.
my brain wasn't
You're
miswired.
fine. No, you're
We're just
fine.
not going to call it Asperger's anymore.
Ken, you think Michael's fine mentally? What's your professional opinion?
And remember, I
Do you
bring
think
booze to
any
the
of
show.
us
You could have
are
jumped in and said
mentally.
something when I asked you. What do you think?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, you feel he's fine mentally. Mm-hmm. No, you don't notice any weirdness or anything or any craziness?
Do you think?
yet.
Do you think
Richard,
Greg's
you-
fine mentally?
You think I'm fine mentally, Ken?
Who, you?
Yeah. Me.
He brought his own car tonight.
What does that mean?
Can I
That's-
get back to you?
So that's something I know. Richard, do you think Michael's fine mentally?
I would like to quote from the great
Oh, God.
psychotherapist Carl Jung.
9 seconds.
I love Carl Jung.
8 seconds.
Hurry.
Bring me a sane man and I'll cure him for you.
There he is. Clop.
Perfect.